Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today, I'm going to be doing a double reaction to Eva Cassidy. We're going to be checking out the songs People Get Ready and Tall Trees in Georgia. This will now be my second time on the channel checking out music from Eva Cassidy. The first song was Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It was remarkable getting to hear her for the first time. She has quite the powerful and emotive voice. Honestly, I could imagine listening to her narrate a book, like an audiobook, for example. She has the kind of voice for that. I'm excited to hear more from her today, but before we do that, let's thank Daniel the Clever for making this donation request. As always, Daniel, it is much appreciated, and thank you for putting me onto Eva originally, and I'm glad to be exploring more today. But without further ado, let's jump in. Keith Grimes. It's a good problem to have.
There's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to it be Sohum. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord.
Yeah, wow. That is beautiful. Great atmosphere, great lyrics, all based in faith, all based in esteem of the self.
People get ready for the train to Georgia, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and board them. There's room for all of the love and honesty.
That's powerful. Just gentle, clean guitar here.
Now there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner.
A hopeless
Who's
sinner.
hard on mankind just to save his own. Have pity on
Wait, I gotta unpack that lyric. Hold on a second.
just a sinner. Who's
Now we're gonna
hard-
start from the top.
Now there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner.
So how can we board this train? You have to have faith. You have to believe in something bigger than yourself. And for me, I'm not really a religious person. I'm definitely a spiritual person. And I can understand, what it takes to board a train like this. You need to be all in and put your faith completely in the Lord. So there's no space for the hopeless sinner, because the hopeless sinner is indulging in a lot of, let's say, hedonistic activity, defying the Lord every which way, and they don't have hope in the Lord, and therefore they're hopeless in potentially what's to come. It's an interesting thing, because for me, again, I'm not really religious, but I do value human values very highly. And I've had this conversation with some religious folk who they view even that appreciation of human values as antagonistic towards the will of the Lord. I I differ in that opinion, but teach their own.
For the hopeless sinner who's hard on mankind just to save his own. Have pity on those whose chances are thinner.
Wow.
'Cause there's no hiding place from the kingdom stone.
again, her voice, just powerful. Oh.
You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe this is like Christian rock you would qualify this as? That is an assumption on my part. That like belt almost sounds like a whistle note, the way it like intersects with my ears. It's so high up. It almost sounds higher than her head voice. You know, that was definitely a different experience than Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I like her style. I like how much grace and poise she has when she does perform. Again, I think like the majority of my conversation as it relates to this song is more in the lyrics rather than the melody or the uniqueness there, because it's a fairly standard song outside of her vocal ability. The lyrics definitely... I wouldn't say contentious. I just think like the moment that you bring in religion and what it means to be a sinner or to be in service to the Lord, people have very different views on that. And for me, I always look at it like be a good person, and religion and so many scriptures that exist have made that effort in as clear of a format as possible to give society to give humans really some framework to base our morality off of. You know, that whole quote, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Without some strict regimented structure over humans, let's say I wasn't part of a society, maybe all of the values I would arrive at, even if they were independent and feel correct, wouldn't necessarily be conducive to a healthy society. You know, it's kind of another like philosophical argument about, okay, if we're all like monkeys in a jar and you know, gradually punish all the monkeys and then they think, okay, I'm going to be punished, and then you remove those 5 monkeys and, you know, one by one and add the new monkeys in, and now they're fearful of nothing because now the punishment's been taken away too, and they're still behaving as though they're the monkeys primed to get hurt. Maybe that made or didn't make sense. I think if you know the reference I'm talking about, then you can fill in the blanks there. But that was an interesting song for sure. People get ready. Let's check out the next one. This one is Tall Trees in Georgia.
This is one that I used to listen to when I was a little kid. My parents had this record, and I'd listen to it over and over, and I've been wanting to do this song for...
You know, I said she's a good storyteller, and here she goes.
And I've been wanting to do this song for a really long time. It's called Tall Trees in Georgia.
Tall trees in Georgia, they grow so high, they shade me so. And sadly walking through the thicket I go.
That is very unique.
The sweetest love I ever had, I left aside.
Da, da, da.
Because I
Oh my god, that vibrato.
Want to be any man's bride. But now I'm older.
This is such a different song structurally.
I would be. I found my sweetheart, but he would not marry me. When I was younger,
It's just like she's just recounting the story of her life here.
boys all came around.
That's pretty.
But now I'm older, and they've all settled down.
Okay, hold on. So let me make sure I got the plot of this straight. So at the beginning, she didn't want to be like in the shade of another man. She didn't want to be like a second fiddle and be someone's bride. And then she found her lover, she found her sweetheart, but for whatever reason he denied her. And now she's looking around and seeing so many of the people that are friends, acquaintances, what have you. They've moved on with their lives. They've found their special someone, and presumably now she's like at least comparing herself. I don't know if she feels bad about it, but we'll see where the story goes. I just wanted to make sure I had that correct in my mind, because over 2.5 minutes here, she's basically said like 30-40 words max.
They've all settled down.
Da-da-da.
Control your mind, my girl, and give your heart to one.
Wow. Is she talking to her younger self?
For if you love all men, you'll be surely left with none.
Oh. Okay, so she is talking to her younger self.
Tall trees in Georgia, they grow so high, they shade me so. And sadly walking through the thicket I go.
That is so different. That is so different.
Thank you.
That feels like a bit of a, I mean, I don't know if it's correct to assign a genre here, but a bit like folk. It's the best I got in that regard. Let's talk about the song itself. Like lyrically, very simple. And now I'm thinking like in this story, so she didn't want to be a bride, but that didn't necessarily mean she swore off all men. Maybe she was still, spending time with men, having boyfriends, whatever. But didn't want to like commit to one. And then when she didn't, the person that she ended up with and liking for whatever reason said no, and now she didn't maybe pursue any more relationships seriously further, and then was left alone, and now in her older years is regretting potentially losing out on the opportunity to have been with one. Because there's this like expression of the grass is always greener. The grass is greener wherever you water it. That, I think, is the correct version of it. Because you can have a lot of things, but you can't have the most of everything. You know what I mean? We have limited time, we have limited emotional capacity. We are human. We are to err, and that's okay, that's reasonable, and being realistic is also super important. And I don't know, it's not like a problem necessarily, especially like in the modern society now. I think people are more and more okay with like not being married and going their own way and doing whatever it is they want to do with their lives, and kind of like exiting the formal, let's say, nuclear family structure that has been passed down for so many years. So there's like a bit of a paradigm shift in that regard, where people are feeling more open to do things, but it does come with its trade-offs. And this is something that I always just consider in life. You know, if you're going to go against the grain, whatever the grain is, there may be a good reason for you to do it, but just understand what the trade-offs are. I am a very liberal person. I think do whatever you want, so as long as you are informed about what it is you're doing. If you have all the information, you have all the risks, all the potential rewards, I say go for it, because at the end of the day, you have to be with you and content with who you are. I would never want somebody to do things out of anxiety or fear or desperation. That's not a way to live. I always preach on this channel peace, love, positivity, and there's a reason for that. You can be peaceful with yourself, you can be peaceful with another, codependently, interdependently, independently, entirely. It's all possible and feasible, but it's about what is best for you. And as long as, again, all of those options are well understood and explored, then at least we can avoid regret, which at the end seems to be what it is. Because at the end, she's saying, I'm sadly now walking through the thicket. I'm leaving the shade. And I guess I should have started here, but the tall trees in Georgia seemingly refer to at least the men in Georgia. So one of those tall trees is providing the safety, support, shelter, the financial provisioning, whatever it may be, and leaving that shade, leaving that structure, that safety, then comes with its own risks. And you may not have another tree to to find shade under again. I'm getting lost in the grammatical sauce now, but yeah, this is a very interesting song to end it off of, because we had People Get Ready, which is a fairly like religious feeling song, and then immediately followed up by like a folk song that would almost like defy the lifestyle that she ended up choosing in Tall Trees in Georgia. Either way though, I'm curious to hear your perspectives on Eva Cassidy on these two songs. Let me know what I got right, what I got wrong. I'd greatly appreciate that. But as always, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.